into the spotlight.
Couple lights on, cameras roll, time to break the mold. No more silence, every story's gotta be told. Truth in the air, no filter, no disguise. Real talk, real change, we open up your eyes. We got the voices that are changing the game. Fearless, unchained, calling our names. From the struggles to the rise, we expose, we ignite. No topic too deep when you step in the light. We got the answers, spotlight, let your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. From the pain to the power, the lessons we learn. Voices of the people, let the fire burn. Dr. Donna, Dr. Laxley, leading the way, guiding the truth in a world full of gray. Experts, activists, voices untold. Everyday heroes with stories so bold. This is more than a show, it's a movement, a spark, illuminating shadows, bringing light to the dark. We got the voices that are changing, be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. Step into the spotlight, let your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. We got the voices, spotlight, let your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. And if you want the real, then tune in right now. We're breaking down walls, no backing down. One mic, one voice, one mission tonight. Step into the spotlight, let's get it right. Let's get it right. Head to the spotlight. Let's get it right. What do?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Spotlight this beautiful Thursday evening. This is the home of Unfiltered Conversations, where real talk is what we do. I am none other than Dr. Donna Thompson.
I'm Dr. Laxley Stephenson, and together we are your moderators. And Dr. Donna, we have Dr. B. Roy Davidson on set with us tonight, and he's starting out from the very beginning. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Doc.
Hi, how are you?
We're doing great. We're doing great. So, Dr. Donna, what's happening? What's going on?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, big things. I'm so happy to be here this Thursday evening. I was back here dancing to our song.
You're dancing in the street?
I'm telling you.
On the set?
Just on the set. Just happy to be here this Thursday. I'm grateful for this day. I'm blessed. I'm humbled. And it's just a great day. Weather was good today. It was a beautiful day outside. So just thankful to be here. How about you? How's it going?
Man, I'm awesome. Anytime I can come on this set and have a conversation with you and our guests, it's just a beautiful thing. And tonight is no different. just feeling good. I have my good buddy on set with us tonight. He's starting out with us tonight. Doc, how you feeling?
Well, I am blessed and highly favored. We have rain in Los Angeles tonight, so it's raining all over, and so yes, the day is not very bright in terms of the sunny California that I know of. So I had to brave the rain to get to the business and brave the rain to come back. So yes, we're having a lot of rain in LA.
All right.
We have a lot of blessings with the rain.
Amen. So Donna, there's some things happening in the Collision with Purpose world. I want to play a quick video and then you can talk about it. All right. Not going to play all of it, but I'm going to play a little piece of it. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Like my decision to have a collision.
I want to thank you, Collision with a Purpose, for constructing for us a new toilet in our school.
Thank you so much. I also, the head teacher of Kesogon, would like to appreciate the Collision with the Purpose for these new facilities which they gave us, and we are praying that God is going to help them so that we get another new facility for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and we are looking forward to more cooperation with you.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Sitawa Kisiangani. We are very, very grateful, the Collision with Purpose movement, for giving us an opportunity to be associated with you by helping us to get a new facility for the sanitation of our girls in Kesogon Junior School. Thank you very much, and we ask for more help because we are still in need. Thank you, and God bless you.
Collision with Purpose. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Collision with Purpose, for these facilities. Promise that we are going to also be in support of every movement you're going to do. Thank you so much.
I'm locked in, going all out, no fear, no doubt. My God, my choice, your will, I'm all yours. Locked in, going all out, no fear, no doubt. My God, my choice, your will, your will, your will. Locked in my decision to have a.
All right. So Donna.
Yeah.
You know, just say a little bit about what happened there and what that is all about.
So that's from our trip, our community outreach trip that took place in June of 2025. And the toilet that we're seeing there was one of the initiatives that we were able to accomplish from the trip, and our team members that went with us, could not have done it without our team members, right? With their support and financial support, emotional support, everything that you can possibly think of. We could not have accomplished that. And so we were able to build the toilet for the girls. This was a school, and it kind of like made me tear up, because if everyone has been, following us, we know that Elizabeth Sitawa is very close to us, and she's fighting cancer. And this is the school where she's a teacher, and this is the school where she actually taught, and sometimes she's still able to go in and continue working. And this was where the girls, they did not have a bathroom. What they had was dilapidated and it was just not functional anymore. And so she brought it to us, and we were able to actually accomplish that. And seeing her there is very special because during the trip she was very ill, and a lot of our activities she could not take part because she was just down. So seeing her,
All right. Really,
it's just a special moment. Yeah, just seeing her there for that ribbon cutting is just it shows the work that a Collision with Purpose do, and and we just continue to do it.
And I should add that is one of 2 toilets that we built while we were there, and one was done in Viega County at another school. So that was a 6 latrine toilets, and they use toilets pits like we used to use back in Jamaica. Just the only difference is these are actually on the ground, so they stoop. It's very different. We used to sit, right, Dr. Davis? So you remember when we used to go to those
back in the day?
Back in the day.
Well, those are still used in Africa, and I know for a fact in Kenya. So we did 2 of them, and on our next visit in May, we will do 2 more. And we will always honor Elizabeth Sitawa Kisiangani. Her name will be on all of them. All right, so we have, and that's a good way to segment into what we're talking about. So we're talking about marginalized individuals. Those students are very much so. And we're talking about situations like that. So that's a great segue into our conversation tonight. So again, you're watching In the Spotlight, the home of raw, unfiltered conversation where nothing is left off the table. And tonight, we're leaving nothing off the table. I just want to say that tonight, let us just pause to face a truth that is still shaping lives across Jamaica. Just a few weeks ago, Hurricane Melissa swept through the southern and western parishes, tearing apart homes, disrupting livelihoods, and leaving entire communities in urgent need. What the world saw was only the surface. The deeper pain, the quieter suffering, that is where the real story lives. And tonight we're joined by some extraordinary individuals who refuse to sit back and simply watch it unfold. Each of them made the personal decision to go to Jamaica, to walk into the devastation, to lend their hands, their hearts, and their presence to families struggling to survive the aftermath. They didn't go there for recognition. They went because compassion called. They went because Jamaica is important to them. They went because doing nothing was not an option. This evening, they will share what they saw, what they felt, and what they believe must happen next as the rebuilding continues. So if you're watching us live or will watch the replay, this is important, because this conversation we're having tonight is bigger than a moment. It is about responsibility, accountability, solidarity, and the power of showing up when it counts the most. Again, this is In the Spotlight. Dr. Donna? Let's get cracking.
All right. Yeah, we're talking about, definitely the devastation that happened in Jamaica with Hurricane Melissa. Before we start off, Dr. Stephenson, do you think we could share just a quick picture of the we're going to be talking about, just so that our audience have an understanding what our guest is going to be sharing with us?
Absolutely. But before we do that, let's have Val Marks introduce herself.
So my name is Valerie Marks, and I practiced as a PA, physician assistant in spine orthopedics. I hung that up about 2018, started my own business, 2 actually, Marks Management, where we manage various projects for cities and different municipalities and individuals and corporations. And also American Sound Check, which is audiometry testing for those who are exposed to loud noise in various workplaces. I'm also the secretary for the Jamaica Museum and Cultural Center, which has truly been a blessing in my life because even though I was born in Jamaica, I was bred in the United States from a toddler. And I really, I have a parent that passed early when I was young. And so I didn't have much connection to Jamaica, to the culture. And JMCC has certainly taught me a lot and reconnected me with the culture, and I'm actually loving it. That's about it for now.
Thank you, Val, and thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. I know this is the first time on our program, so we really, truly welcome you. Dr. David, so you want to share a little bit about who you are, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm from a little district by the name of Taff Road, Little London, Westmoreland. And Dr. Laxley Stephenson and I grew up together. He's like a brother from another mother. So I came to California 40 years ago. My high school sweetheart invited me here. And I love the state of California, so I've stayed here physically. But last week I was in Jamaica for my 90th visit. So although I left Jamaica in body, I have been there sometime twice, sometime 3 times a year. So I am well connected with what is happening in Jamaica. And I am obligated to provide service to my beautiful country. I'm a Jamaican scholar. So I was very fortunate to get free education at high school, free education at college, and the Jamaican government sent me on a Commonwealth scholarship to Australia to get my bachelor's degree. So I owe a debt of gratitude to Jamaica. So what I do is not about any fanfare or anything. I'm giving back what was given to me, and it wasn't given to me that easy. So I have been studying half of my life. I spent 25 years in school with 2 bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a doctorate. So, and I'm academically inclined, but I'm from the streets. So whenever I did my dissertations, they were all on personal life experience. So what I did in Jamaica, I was a high school teacher, taught at the greatest high school in Jamaica and the oldest school in Jamaica, Manning School. But before I did that, I taught at Little London High School, where I went as a student and then completed my O-levels at Manning School. And so I went back. I went to college at 17, completed my training at 20, and went to teach at the school that I attended for 2 months. And then I was recruited to Manning School, and I spent 10 years there. And while I was at Manning's, I applied to attend the University of Southern California because I know my high school sweetheart was here and I was trying to get to California. So I came and I've been here for 40 years. So I'm well connected with Jamaica and I've never left Jamaica. What I do for my day job here, as soon as I came to California 40 years ago, I started a healthcare business. I'm an entrepreneur at heart because I came from a family that had business in Jamaica. So my mom was a shopkeeper. We still have a shop there. And I learned all my little skills working in that shop. And I use that skill to build on it and achieve my doctorate in business and healthcare management. So when I came to California then, I decided to veer off into business. And I own my own healthcare business, providing services for clients from the womb to the tomb. and that include home health, home care, staffing agency, and I own partially a nursing school. And we have been working with folks under the Uni Healthcare Incorporated. And we are here in California doing all that work to provide care and love to our clients that we take care of. So that's my day job, and my wife is a banker. So she supports me all the way, and I have 3 sons. Incidentally, one of them, my sister passed away in Jamaica. And when I went home and buried my sister, I told the little one, I wasn't going to leave you. You're going to come with me. So I brought him to California, adopted him, and he became a United States citizen. He's here with us. He doesn't live with me anymore because he's married to a doctor, and he's out there doing his thing, and they work with me full time. And my other son lives in Atlanta, Georgia. And my other son in here, which is, so one is Javon, the young one. And then you have Dwayne in Atlanta. And my replica is Shane Brian Davidson. He looks exactly like me, and he's a heir to the throne in terms of taking care of business and to help people. He's very dedicated to the business. And so we are business people in the state of California right now. And we are about to provide support for Jamaica in time of needs. But even before that, I have been working in Jamaica for the past 50 years.
All right. Good stuff. You said one thing that you left Jamaica 40 years ago. I don't think you left Top Road. That's the place you will never leave, right?
I will never leave.
So, yeah, I appreciate that. Donna, you had asked that we play a video, and let's do that. Let's show what happened, right? This is actually in Falmouth, St. Elizabeth. I believe that was the courthouse. Wow. Let's remove that one from the Val. Can you unmute your thing for me, please? When you look at that video, what are you thinking?
Immediately, I think of all the challenges that came with it, and especially for those who are living there. Power lines being down, the lack of electricity turned every step into a test of adaptability. And even charging phones in a car, that the battery became like a lifeline. It was just it was a fragile, very fragile everything.
Not easy to talk about, is it?
It's not. It's not, especially when you make contact with the people and you hear their stories, their survival stories, their suffering stories. It's, you can't help but take it with you. Just like Dr. Thompson, in watching that video where she was, that young lady impacted her. It's the same, these people's lives and their suffering. As I've told you before, Dr. Laxley, I really want to return to do more. I feel like there's so much more that has to be done.
Wow.
All right. You see, a lot of people don't understand this. When you look at what's happening in Jamaica, right? Let's start when hurricane started to hit Jamaica. We are a speck in the ocean, a little speck. So when you see that hurricane head into Jamaica, You have to get, if you are a believer, you have to get down on your knees and pray. Because that little hurricane could sink the entire country. It was like heading, people on the island did not even realize it. Because they thought them more or less they're living in a big country, right? We were a speck in the ocean. As a geography teacher, I knew that from day one. So when the hurricane was traveling to Jamaica, I'm praying that it veer off to some other end. Unfortunately, it veer off to my region, Western Jamaica. And not only that, I'm from Westmoreland. So it went into the New Hope area, where it created destruction. So a guy might be in Kingston and they said, everything is all right. Let me tell my people, everything is not okay. Because if you are not hit by the hurricane directly, you are affected indirectly. So let me give you an example of that. I went to Negril. And when I looked at Negril and drove on down Negril, the 12-mile strip, right? You didn't see any major damages, right? So you say, oh, Negril is okay. There's no light in Negril. So Negril had to be lit up with what? Generators. Generators were not meant to be long-term. They are short-term. So these hotels in Negril, for example, where I'm from in that region, they're spending millions of dollars just to open their doors. Who is going to give them back the money that they're losing, the millions of dollars they're losing? Let's go to Little London. A friend of mine told me, oh, Little London was not completely destroyed, so they're okay. Remember these people, I grew up with them. They are marginalized. One of my friends used the word marginalized. So they were marginalized before. Remember now, we have the sugar cane within that region. For over 40 years since I left, there's no more sugar cane. It's just a land sitting there not being used. So my farmers, what are they doing? All right, because there's no sugar cane and that was the primary crop, right? A few people are doing farming and some lands all over the place. The youngsters, they work in the Negril area in the hotel industry. But if you look at small businesses and stuff around, they're not really gainfully employed. So they're idle. And there's no skill school or anything around to teach them a skill so that they can handle the real world. So with this hurricane hitting a community that was marginalized before, can you imagine the sufferation when you go into a system where there's no light from the western region? I drove from Savlamar. I didn't drive because I could not drive on that road. I had to have drivers driving to Negril to get me down there. But before I got there, I got to my brother's home. And I went into one of the rooms that I always slept in. And guess what? It was 120 degrees heat. I couldn't stay in there. So I got out and I told my brother and his wife, let's go to Negril, let's drive down there and you spend the night with me. After the hurricane, they said that was the best sleep they've ever had. And guess what? In the hotels in Negril, there are no air condition in the rooms, you know. We had fun and we're close to the beach. So, and we had to open the windows and the doors. So nice cool air was coming in from the beach. But that is a situation where when you look back and then say go up to Kingston and they didn't have some major damage. They said everything is okay. Nothing is okay in Jamaica. Because it's going to take billions of dollars to recover. And while we recover, we have to be ready and waiting for another disaster. Because we never know when that disaster is going to hit us again.
Let's push that disaster away. We can't afford another one. But thanks, Doc. Val, you traveled to Jamaica in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. What moved you personally to go to Jamaica?
Well, the love for Jamaica and the degree of damage that I know occurred there. I have a son who has a charity, and he did a lot of collecting, and I vowed with him to assist. And also JMCC, we made the decision that we will contribute and somehow make a dent into the humanitarian effort that was going on. I felt that need within me. And as I mentioned, it wasn't about even bringing things down and giving whatever we could give. It was supporting them, letting them know that we were there for them. If I could go the next time and help someone even just clean out their home, I would be satisfied with that and helping. I've tried to tell many folks, you don't need much. If you don't have anything to give financially, you can give your time, you can give your support. But I was moved for the people and the damage that had occurred there. I could not be still.
Wow. So I wanted to, because I know we have a number of individuals that has joined us, and just want to thank them for joining us this evening. I think Rosemary's on and a few more individuals, but I think for people who are watching, just to kind of give a little bit of perspective of what hit Jamaica. It wasn't anything to take, very lightly. They're comparing it to a cyclone. This is something where they had winds of 250 miles per hour, right? That there's no record of any storm having those kind of winds. It is being compared to an EF5 tornado. If anyone has ever experienced a tornado or know the damage of a tornado, that funnel, that spinning, it was a perfect storm. So for our island that is so devastated, it is a miracle that we did not lose more lives. And that is really important for us to understand. It is an absolute miracle, because this was a perfect storm, an EF5 tornado. That thing takes out everything, concrete, everything in sight. And that's what happened to Jamaica. So with that, I'm going to ask, because I know you all have different experiences in different communities that you visited, right? Which community or which experience would you say impacted you the most during the visit, and why would you say that impacted you so much? And Dr. Davidson, if you wanted to jump in, and then Val.
So I covered the whole region from St. Elizabeth, right? Went down into St. James, across to Hanover, Trelawney, and Westmoreland. What really impacted me was, the parish of Trelawney, the parish of St. Elizabeth is literally wiped out. That was the greatest impact in the region. It's going to take a whole rebuilding of a new city for Dr. Laxley region there, St. Elizabeth. That really impacted me more. Then I moved from there into Westmoreland, the hills of Westmoreland, where the hurricane came through. Luckily, it's mountainous. So because of that now, all that region is disseminated. All those people, all the farmers, all those things are gone. So what St. Elizabeth is the one that got it worse. And then looking at everything else, that parts of Westmoreland was the east. But as you were saying, Dr. Donna, I think fire and brimstone got onto the land. Why I said fire, I'm from the state of California, and I know when fire parch on the land. So when I was moving through all these parishes to get the experience and to see what was happening, I could relate, because I'm from the state of California. Go to Malibu, look in Santa Clarita, where I'm from, where the fire burned the land. So that's why I said fire and brimstone. And then I was talking to Dr. Laxley and said, why? Dr. Roy, this is not normal. That's the only thing could have, he said, this is not normal. So when folks in Jamaica sitting there and saying everything is all right, everything is not all right, because it's going to take billions of dollars to recover. Don't get me wrong, we're going to recover.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to recover by the generosity of people, because we're a loving nation and we are positive. So we'll get all the money and all the things necessary to recover. My concern is the mental health aspect, and the concern is with the marginalized, because they were poor before and they're poorer now. So we have some work to do. So we're not preaching doom and gloom, because the work gonna be done. And people are hiding the numbers from the diaspora. But I know the real number. When you go to first, second, and third generation Jamaicans, there are over 5 million of us here. And nobody is dedicated like what one Jamaican. So I'm calling on all the 5 million Jamaicans to adopt a family and get out there and put the work in to help your family. And don't just sit by, but claim your country, Jamaica. Get out there and do some business. Help us to recover.
Wow. So y'all in charge.
You know, Dr. Thompson, I don't believe I traveled to the worst hit areas of Jamaica based on what social media was showing. But for the part that I did witness, with St. Catherine in Montego Bay, every step was a battle against the elements. You literally saw residents wading through sticky mud to clean their yard. You saw mattresses and furniture, their entire household, everything that is within their home is now sitting outside because of the level of water that entered their home and destroyed everything. Just navigating through the roads, it was pitted with rocks and craters that you would wonder, was it more than just a hurricane? I mean, the craters took out roundabouts. You could literally put a car vertically in those openings. So, and not to mention driving, because night fell upon us. You know, we went out there early and tried to distribute the items, and night fell upon us, and that darkness felt oppressive. You know, it was a physical weight that made even familiar paths feel treacherous. I've known St. Catherine prior to the hurricane, but it did not look the same. It almost reminded me of when Hurricane Andrew hit Florida. You didn't know the street. If someone did not write a name and stick a stick in the ground, you would not know what street you were on.
Yeah, Sister Val, the area you went to, the whole entire parish is St. James, and where you were is not you were in Catching Hall.
Yeah.
It's a
What did I
company.
say?
You said
I'm
St.
sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we have a different parish. So I want to
Yes.
get for people in perspective here. Where
Forgive me.
you were in St. James, the parish
Yes.
of St. James, capital Montego Bay, right?
Yes.
You were in Catching Hall.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for that correction.
Catching Hall is the area, one of the areas that were devastated because they're in a close to some mountainous area.
Yes.
And so so I just wanted to clarify that part of it for the general audience.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so it was stripped bare to me, you know, as I mentioned, the absence of the electricity and water. And to think that when we went, which was just Friday, that was almost 3 weeks since the hurricane, and people are still without water. They're still without electricity. But in the midst of it all, when you conversate with everyone, when you provide something to them, beyond thankful, you also can see the resilience that's shown through them. It was truly a testament to strength found in scarcity of so much. And that is really what hit me. It really tugged at my heart.
Right. Wow. Thanks for sharing.
Yes.
Well, when I got down, they picked me up in Montego Bay at the airport, right? And my driver, family friend, was saying, "Look, we're gonna drive through Negril, and go through Negril, okay? That route is a little bit much better, or it's longer when you go to Savlamar. So they made an error and drive up through the mountain to get down to Savlamar. And when we went up through Long Hill, and in that territory there, it took us 2 hours just to get down the hill to get into Ramble. And when you get into Ramble and you look across on the left side, the land was parched, like fire was burnt. And then now you have a lot of people lying. You see, nature came back to take its own. So you had tributaries, the rivers running to the sides, and you have people lined up swimming and and getting their bath, and you have people lined up washing their clothes in the river and hanging up the clothes. And that was a continuous thing all the way to Savlamar, where there was no water, no electricity, so people are using the stream where the water was coming down to have their bath. Ladies, children, everybody, that's how they bath. They were happy to be outside in the water that was coming from the mountain. I was a little because can you imagine if that continues up to this point? Where they bathe in that water, how fresh is that water for bath? And people were so desperate that they were drinking the water too. And it's not purified, but they needed the water, right?
Indeed, and that water is still coming down. It's still trickling down. Because I myself, that road you're talking about, Long Hill, that part, I drove. That's the way I drove to go to St. Elizabeth, and all the trees had no leaves. They're all gone. All the electrical poles are down everywhere. Anchovy in St. James got hit real hard because it's in the mountain, of course. But let's talk a little bit about, because you didn't just go there, you went there to work, both of you. You didn't go there as visitors or as tourists, by no means. So let's talk about the support you provided while you were there. And this is for both of you. We're going to try and keep we have a lot of questions that we want to ask. So let's try and keep the answers brief and to the point. And Val, you can go first. What type of support did you personally bring or participate in while you were in St. James?
So with JMCC, we brought food items and clothing, and also tarpaulin for the homes who was ripped of their roofing. My son, his charity, J Charities, focused mainly on infants and children. And so he brought diapers and wipes and children's clothing, size 1, 2, 3, 4 diapers and so forth. And I tell you, I don't know if it's because he has a young one where he thought along those lines, but I think that age range was probably forgotten, as people were focusing mainly on adults and their housing. But yes, those were some of the items that we brought.
Yeah, and Dr. Davis, before you answer, I want to say to Val, thanks for all that you did down there. I saw videos of you. You couldn't reach the people, you and Dr. Polly, but you would toss the food up so they could get it, because you couldn't get to them. You couldn't reach them.
Right.
And you couldn't get to them. And that was so awesome watching you and Dr. Polly doing that. So I saw you as you were coming off the airplane. And I saw you with your grandson, a baby, that you brought down there with you. What an experience. That was a
Yes, my son was determined that it was going to be he, his wife, and his son. It was going to be a family affair. He wanted his entire family, because his wife is not Jamaican, and he wanted her to. And fortunately, she had seen the island prior to the devastation. She was there while she was expecting. And so when she returned this time, it also gave her a sense of helping. But yeah, my little grandson, he was rocking and rolling with us in the vehicle as we tried to traverse the streets. And right there alongside us when we were packing the relief items, that in itself was like a logistical dance. We had flickering lights. Of course, there was no electricity, and we packed from late night into early morning, and the lights were flickering. The only sound was crunching under the gravel under our foot while we were out on the streets. But yeah, it was challenging, but that's nothing in comparison to what, the residents there had to deal with.
Absolutely. Dr. Davis, before you answer this question, I want to play a video. And after the video, you can talk about support provided.
So that's all the things that we brought down, Dr. Laxley, from Kingston. So, can you guys hear me?
No, let the video finish. Let the video finish, and we'll talk about it. All right. Now, let's talk about what we just showed. Dr. Davis, so you go ahead and talk, and I will jump in as well.
Well, I must, I love Jamaica very much, and I wanted to go to Jamaica, right? And I know I have my family in Jamaica I need to go visit. And when I'm saying family, I mean the entire Jamaica, not only my immediate. So when Dr. Laxley called me on the 4th of November and said, look, we're going to Jamaica on the 7th. I have a company to run. And thank God I trained my staff to be independent of me. So it took me 3 days to hurry up and get a ticket. to get to Jamaica. So I must give Dr. Laxley the credit for basically saying, look, we need to go down. But in my mind, I said, why am I going? Because I have to go and make an impact. And then Dr. Nichols called me as well and said, we need you in Jamaica now. So when she confirmed that with me, and I realized that she was sending down a cargo plane full of goods and things to give away. And she asked me and Dr. Laxley to go with her to ensure that we receive the cargo plane. That was one reason. And then I said, but I'm going to Jamaica and I have family in Jamaica. I'm not going with empty hands. I have to go with something. So we activated our system for food insecurity. And within 2 days, Dr. Laxley Stephenson and Dr. Ryan Keating was able to source food from Kingston, Jamaica, to get those food ready. That's the things, the food you saw on the video, right? And we Ryan was able to package that food for us. And Dr. Laxley got the date set for the food to get to his destination, which is right there in Little London, right? And Ryan was able to package the food to give us 500 packages. And those packages are not normal. They're between 10 to 15 pounds. I don't see any other package bigger than our package in Jamaica. But we have proof of concept because we're not fly by night. We did it before. Because we went to Little London High School and fed 800 students before. So we have that program fully established. So when I called Dr. Laxley, he put everything in motion. And I kicked back and see it became a reality where the food came straight to my home in Little London. And I got my family to take them off and pack them in my garage. And I called 4 of my family members and said, look, you guys know the community. This food belongs to the houses. We're not giving any individual the food. We're going to hit the houses. And the idea of the house is this. I'm in home health care. And I know that we have some paralyzed people and some handicap. And we have the indigents living in the homes. And ain't nobody going to go to them to give them food like that. So our program is different. We decided we're going to hit 500 homes in Little London, Jamaica, West Indies. And after I got all that done and organized, I went to Negril to pick some stuff up. And by the time I got to Little London, the 500 packets were delivered. I didn't have to do it because I had community members who know the community. I remember I'm from Little London. I had a youth club in Little London, Star of the West Youth Club. So I have all my members there. And they joined behind me and delivered food to 500 households. All the way to Salmon Point, if people know Salmon Point. All the way to Beer Road. All the way to Station Road. All the way to Negril. The food was delivered on time without any fanfare and any fight. No police protection. We didn't need that. No security. Because it's our community. And everything was delivered nicely. And I'm going to do it again for Christmas. So that was a food section. Laxley can talk about now the whole business of the light and what is not there, and we're working in darkness. So
we collaborated with Dr. Beverly Nichols from the Push Start Foundation out of New York. And she brought in she chartered a cargo plane 2 pallets of water, whole heap of water, and 25 solar generators. And we distributed those in St. Elizabeth, Montego Bay. Some of them went to folks in Catherine Hall, and in Westmoreland, different parts of Westmoreland. We didn't just focus on distributing those in where we're from in Little London. We spread them out based on needs. So we did that, and we also distributed the water. But not only that, there are another 200 generators that will be shipped to Jamaica. And we, from Global Humanity Network and Uni Healthcare and Caribbean Cricket Club of LA, we're making a commitment that not only are we focusing on food, we're focusing on generators. So we personally experience the importance of having them, because I spent about 3 days in a house where in darkness, no water, and if it had it not been for these generators, it would have been very interesting. So we are, and that's just the tip of the problem. Because imagine those folks out there who are living for over 3 weeks now without light, electricity, and water. Our 3 days was, because I know when Dr. Davis would call me up and say, "You need to come to Negret. At least you can take a bath." We didn't have that luxury for the 5-6 days I was there. We use water from the bottle and a rag. That is how we managed. So, Dr. Polly, thanks for joining us. Can you introduce yourself and
I am so sorry. I have been on the road. I thought I would have been able to get it on my phone. My phone just let me down.
But you're here now. You're here. Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's introduce yourself.
I am Dr. Apollon Reed, known as Polly, and I'm a physical therapist for 49 years. And I am also a doctor of public policy and administration. And I am the president of the Jamaican Museum and Cultural Center. So I know we're focusing on the hurricane and our experiences in Jamaica. So if you'll permit me, I will tell my experiences and how I happened to have ended up there.
Please.
A lot of times you don't know, if you trust God, you don't know your next move from day to day. And you only have to be willing to listen to that still voice and step into the doors that he opened. So our organization had been working, supporting other organizations like the A Collision with Purpose, a number of other organizations set up through the ambassador and the consul general and the association, Atlanta Jamaica Association. So we had been doing things on a small individual scale. And all of a sudden, an American lady who has never been to Jamaica, who knows nothing about our lifestyle, decides to call and say, "I am going to give you some funds and I want you to go down. I don't want you to give it to the big organizations. I want you to go down and identify the small groups of people who will be left behind in this." And I didn't know how to identify any small group of people. So I called a reporter and I said to her, "I need to identify a small group of people who need something." And immediately she sent back and she said, "The girls' home lost their roof. They need food. They need water." And when I called the president of the organization. She happened to be a young girl. And immediately she said, Auntie Polly. And I'm saying, who is this? And she said, I'm your daughter's travel buddy. I didn't know she was associated with any kind of foundation that offered any philanthropic um, benefit to anyone. But this is how God works. He puts you together with people of need and people who can answer the call to where you're being directed. And so when I spoke to her, she said, listen, we need towels. The girls use all their towels to mop up the water. We need sheets. They have no bed linen. We need rags. We need food. So, of course, I went with the money that I was given and I just started to buy. Bought until the money was finished and I continued buying. And then I spoke with Dr. Laxley and he said, you know, if you come down, we can help you with packages. And of course, he helped us with some 10 heavy packages because it's 10 packages I asked for. And they needed it because we only had rice. But in his package, he had flour, he had sardines. We had sardines too. We had canned food. We had macaroni cheese because they had asked for those things. But he had sugar, he had cornmeal, and flour, which they needed. So I'm just giving God thanks at how God works. You know, I'm amazed how in our need God puts everything together. And at the last minute, Val, who is a member of the organization, decided she's coming too. And her son and his wife and baby, 5-month-old baby, they were there. And we stayed in that house, in my house, in darkness. Well, not quite in darkness. My friend who lost her roof in Betheltown, one of the, I would call it ground zero areas, she decided that they would take off their solar lights off the roof or wherever they had them before the hurricane. And so she took them down to, tore them down to my house. So that's how we got light. But we decided that we had to economize on the little water that she brought. The baby had to get water. We had to bathe. And I told him, I said, listen, we're going back to boarding school strategy to bathe, you know. And I told them about the strategy we use at boarding school to bathe. And it was wonderful. And after my first bath, I felt good. And that bath was probably a pint of water or 2 pints of water, but it worked. And we were in.
Wow.
We were able to go out and meet the needs of the people. And I got a call out of the blue. I got a call just one of the times when my phone had charge, because it didn't have charge for very long. And we got a call, and it was from a church member looking for my friend who had lost her roof because they didn't hear from her and they thought she was dead or something in the storm. And I said, no, she's here with us and she's okay. And they said, well, one of our church members lost everything and I have no roof and that one has no roof and we need sheets and we need bed. I said, what kind of linen you need? She said, queen size. I said, yeah, I have some queen size sheets I brought down, sheet sets. And she said, but she started laughing and she said, but I don't have a queen size bed anymore. My bed wet up and we throw them out. So here they had to throw out everything they had. But, you know, I brought tarpaulins, but that was one of the main things. And the airport, Delta, took all our 8 suitcases and our 3 boxes, big boxes, and let us take them through free. So, you know, I'm just blessing God that He continues to open these doors and for us to bless other people. You know, like I said, Dr. Laxley was right there. He was there to provide what we couldn't provide. And the Lord opened the doors. And we had lanterns, we bought solar lanterns, and they worked. surprisingly, we had solar flashlights and they worked. So we were able to distribute these and to keep some for ourselves so that we could see. So I don't know if Val spoke already. She did.
She did.
But and her experience. But I want to say one thing. One thing I want to say. When I saw the devastation by video, and my play daughter, who is a medical doctor, she had been flown into the ground zero areas on a daily basis by the government. I don't know. I guess where she works at Kingston Public Hospital, and she told me that, Aunt Polly, when you come, you will think you see the worst on video, but when you see it, you will not be able to wrap your mind around it. And to tell you the truth, when I went to Catherine Hall and I saw the mud on the roads were turned into mud tracks. And when I saw the people, I had said from the videos, I have nowhere to go anymore. And I'd planned to spend the last few years of my life in Jamaica. And it just looked hopeless. I felt like there was nothing, no hope. It's going to take years to build back. And where am I going? I have nowhere. I feel like a nomad without a state. And that was what was in my heart. But when I went into Catherine Hall and West Green, and I saw the shock in people's faces still, they're still in shock. But when I saw the camaraderie, them coming together and helping each other, and the hope that I saw beside the shock in their faces, the spirit came on me, and came that this is where you belong. It doesn't matter what it looks like, but this is where you're gonna feel grounded. And I'm thankful for that experience, because for years I sold my house and moved my things back to Jamaica, and I still couldn't move back home. But now, this Melissa has given me the answer to where I need to be.
No, what a way to
Wow.
What a way to segment into a quick break. This is where we, not just we belong. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back. We'll have a few more questions and then we'll close out. All right, let's take a quick break, and this is an appropriate way to break.
I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I wake up in the morning and I praise the Lord. I thank Him for His protection, and I walk in His steps, declaring that today's provision is set up for me. I love God and I love my friends. I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid. I put on my armor and I read His word, blessing come out of my mouth. Cause I know to whom I belong, I am bold for Christ. Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Loving others as He told me to pray, for healing miracles to see, knowing my identity in Christ, He is in me. I am a bold kid, He loves me, standing firm on His word, proclaiming everything I heard, not afraid because He is with me. Be bold. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Put on my armor and I let His word blessing come out of my mouth, because I know to whom I belong. I am bold for Christ. Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to In the Spotlight. And tonight we have on set with us Dr. Apollon Reed, Miss Valerie Marks, and Dr. Bingsley Davidson. And what a pleasure to have them on with us tonight, Dr. Donna. What a pleasure. All three of them traveled to Jamaica. They didn't have to go, but they were called to go. It was a purpose call, right? And they went there and did what they did, and they're here with us tonight. We're having this conversation. So, Dr. Dunn, I know you have a question that you want to ask them.
Yeah, I know we still have, so many to go through, but I know it's we're gonna have to come back again and talk about this because it's such this is such a crisis that we're dealing with. But I wanted to ask or guess this evening, looking forward, and you've had that on the ground experience, and majority of individuals who have not had the opportunity to travel to Jamaica just yet, even our own Jamaicans like myself, I have not had that opportunity. But for people who are just seeing things on social media and videos and things of that nature, what do you believe people outside of Jamaica often misunderstand about humanitarian crisis, especially like what we're experiencing in Jamaica currently? And any of you can start off with that.
It depends on your experience. You have some people from certain parts of the world, they understand the whole business of crisis. And so they will understand the gravity of the situation. But for our own people that are living in the diaspora, you have to go on the ground to experience it. And when you're going on the ground, you can't just visit because we're not going for vacation and just go to look. I'm begging you, when you travel to Jamaica, travel with some money and something to give. But I just want to use this opportunity because I'm not in this thing alone. I have a board of director at Uni Healthcare Incorporated, and my sons are the vice president and my wife. And they were the ones that gave me permission to use $20,000 US dollars to buy food to feed our people. They were the ones that put $10,000 in my pocket to travel to Jamaica, and I came back with $1. But I have support from Dr. Laxley Stephenson of Global Humanity Network, Caribbean Cricket Club of Los Angeles, and we formed the California Hurricane Group. That's behind us 100%. But one of the big things is that, Dr. Lax, is that I formed a legacy partnership with Mr. Vaslav Coca-Cola Palm Hotel in Negril. When I went in and gave him my card and said, I want to stay here for a week, the manager came in, Mr. Vaslav, and said, I'm not charging you a dime. You're staying here for a week. Compliments of Coca-Cola Palms. I said, no, you need to take the money because I know your hotel is losing millions of dollars to keep the place open. And he said, no, Dr. Roy, I will never charge you. And that really got to my heart. But I want to thank my 500 staff at Uni Healthcare Corporation that gave me the love and the support to go down to help our people. And they are still working and getting ready for me to go back. And then two things I left off that I identified 10 houses that lost roof. And I have made arrangements with my own personal funds to fix those 10 houses. Because it's a proof of concept. You have to do something to show and to give an example. And also, I went ahead and leased a building in my community that I can collect stuff to put in that place. And when I was leasing the building, my cousin said, you're working for humanity. I'm not charging you a dime for the next 14 months. Take it, compliments of the family, and bring stuff in. So for the next 3 to 4 months, we're going to collect stuff and we're going to give to people. We're not selling nothing. And one of my sons is going with me, and I said, we're gonna give away things. We're not selling nothing. So pack some starling, pack whatever you can. This is a time of giving. That's my lyric for the missed left off, and I wanted to bring the team together because I didn't want to give the impression that I am alone. I'm not alone. I have a lot of people behind me.
Thanks, Doc. Val, Dr. Reed here. Same person.
So, in the throes of crisis, I believe that the boundaries that typically divide us, they dissolve. And that reveals one profound truth, that our shared humanity really becomes the common thread that unites us. And so when disaster strikes, whether, it's a natural calamity, a personal struggle, or in this case, the hurricane, it has a way of transcending borders and cultures and socioeconomic divides, and that reminds us that we're all interconnected and we're all interdependent. It's in these moments, I think, of turmoil that our innate capacity for compassion, empathy, and kindness is really ignited. And it just draws us together in a collective response to help alleviate all that suffering and promote some type of healing. So I just pray that as we navigate these complexities, in our global village, wherever in Jamaica you may be, it's essential that we recognize our individual struggles are not isolated. They're really an integral part of the larger human experience.
Thank you for that, Val.
Yeah.
Well, I wish every person outside of Jamaica would have the opportunity to see the humanity that comes forth among the suffering. Differences are put aside. When we went into the communities, especially in Catherine Hall, we would give packages with different kinds of items, baby items or clothing, and nobody grabbed to take, to sell for themselves. They would send us on and say, no, I don't need that, or my baby is a bigger size. But go down the road right there. The lady down the road, she has a younger baby. She can use that. Or the man over there, he can use those shorts. Nobody was grabbing. Everybody was looking out for the other person because everybody wanted the other person to survive. And I think in the suffering, it brings forward that sense of caring that maybe would not have existed had this experience happened to everyone. But it would be great if people outside of the country or people outside of the areas that were impacted greater than the other, if they could come and experience it, or if somehow we would be able to put this in a movie so that we can see how humanity is stirred, how humanity comes forth out of disaster. And that is what I would like others outside to see, because I think that was the question.
And to support what you're saying, Dr. Paula, it's two perspectives. It's one from the internet, from the TV screen, and one when you're walking on the ground, at what they call ground zero. It's a different perspective. And that one is a rude awakening when you get there. when you first, when we landed at the airport. I remember when I left Jamaica, we walked from the airplane and we walked outside the airport. That was the experience when we landed. We had that walk outside the airport again. And we had to walk outside because where our gate was, that part of the airport is still damaged. So we had to walk outside, and that brought some memories back from 1970 something. We lost someone. So that was an experience right there. But I have a question, and Dr. Davidson, you brought up the emotional aspect of the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. Was there a moment during your visit that broke you, inspired you, or changed you? And you can start, Dr. Davis or Val.
When I landed in Jamaica and then I got onto the road to go to Westmoreland, going through the hills, and saw the destruction. Literally, I literally cried every day when I was in Jamaica because I saw the suffering of the people. And sometimes you feel helpless because when I went down to Bluff Hills and the people were standing on the road and said, "What did you bring for me? I need water and I need food." And I didn't have the food and the water to give to them, except what was in my car. I just handed it out. But I felt helpless on that side. So there were so many experiences, starting out from going through the mountains and looking at the land and see the destruction of the farms, going through Ramble, where Nakalva training colleges and where they have farms. And all the farms are destroyed. Cows are dead, goats are dead, animals are gone. And you see the destruction, you can't help but literally break down. So that was terrible. And then to go down all the way down to my community and see the marginalized suffering. And they came up to me, and thank God when I was there, I had food to hand out. And I had money to give. But even with that, I was crying in my heart. I could not stay down there. That's why my solace, because you have to have a place of solace, So my little corner was Negril, where I stayed. So I could get up in the morning and recover from the problems and then get back out and identify certain things. So every single day, man, within the community that you're from, and you drive around and you see people's houses that destroyed. And people are asking you, can you give me some money to buy zinc, to buy nails, to cover my house? Because I went to one place where the top of the house caved in and the people were in the house, we had rain. And then rain came down. I said, God, what is this again? Because we have rain again. And they can't leave the house because where are they going to go? So they're in the house and the place is not covered. There are some of them that you can't even put tarpaulin on them like that because you have to get the cover first. And it's just amazing. You go into the waterworks area and everything is devastation.
All right. So the question is, I'm repeat it because Dr. Paul, you fell off there. Was there a moment during your visit that broke you, inspired you, or changed you? Val, you can take it.
Oh, so my experience was quite different. It really diverged from the norm in that the individuals that I crossed paths with were they were imbued with this profound sense of optimism. It was almost as though they were radiating this contagious hopefulness that really transcended their circumstance. From the moment I stepped off the aircraft, I said, "How are you? How are you guys?" You know, it was just lined with so many employees, you know, working on the ramp with the airlines, through customs and so forth. And their responses were uplifting. I I think one moment when we were in Catherine Hall. I said that right, Dr. Davidson?
Yes.
When
Yes.
we were in Catherine Hall,
Yes, ma'am.
and we approached a woman with a bag of items, and she really looked at us and said, "No, she didn't need that. We can give it to this person down the street, that home," that sort of thing. And she began to tell us what she needed. And so we were able to provide her a different bag. And my point is, they were so hopeful. They made a deliberate choice that, in spite of their circumstances, they were going to persevere. They were going to thrive in the face of adversity. People are going to come around, and whether it's provide for them or the government will, you know, at some point be there for them. But they were hopeful. And I was struck by their ability to find solace in that, you know, and they're also people of faith, you know. They don't believe that God had forsaken them. You know, they were really people of faith. So that inspired me to adopt a similar outlook, and not, you know, just view everything as doom. No, there was a feeling of hopefulness, and that was a powerful catalyst, I thought, that motivated them to, you know, stay strong in their faith.
Thank you for sharing that. Dr. Paul?
I think for me, seeing people sit down after being traumatized. I think I videotaped a lady who spoke of her experience because she was still in shock. When she saw the river, she looked out and she saw the river coming. It wasn't coming like a stream. It was rolling down like a 4-foot high ball of mud. And when she saw it coming towards her, and when she realized it was coming into her house eventually, and she was started scooping out, and her son said to her, "No, you can't scoop, we have to run." And they jumped in their SUV. And it was so bad that she asked her son, she said, "Richard, you think we're going to make it through this?" And when she asked Richard that, Richard sped up in the mud, the water, not knowing that normally you don't speed in water coming at you. You go slowly. But this was a matter of life and death, and they had to choose. And they sped up, and they thought they went to an area that was higher. And it was a little higher. They were able to go upstairs. But when they looked at the van, the water was still at the height of the tire, the top of the tire. And when I see the trauma that these people went through, and the hope, hope is the word that keeps coming back to me. The hope that they have. There was no despair. I never saw one person who exhibited despair. It was always hope. And so, for me, that is what has impacted me and changed my outlook on disaster and on loss.
Mm.
And
I agree.
I have to say, I'm not happy the storm took place, but I'm happy that it had that impact on me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, their hopeful spirit was truly a refreshing anomaly. It left an indelible mark, like I said, on my perspective, and it just reminded me of the transformative power of optimism.
Well, Dr. Polly and Dr. Val, you're really motivating me right now, because that whole aspect of hope and doom and gloom, our people did not look on it as doom and gloom. They look at it as hope, and they're not terrified. They just need the help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I thanks for sharing that. You know, one of the a gentleman that came, traveled from New York to Jamaica with us. Believe it or not, he's from Afghanistan.
Wow.
You can imagine what he's lived through, right? So he was an inspiration, just having conversations with him every day. Because this was everyday stuff for him. He's been through so many wars, right? So many wars. He grew up in it. He lived it. So just being able to talk to him and converse with him, you know, you talk about perspective, right? Talk about perspective. Dr. Donna, let's ask one more question, and then we'll go around the room and do a closing argument. So let's try and keep the answer real brief on this one, right? And then we'll go around the room, and then you give your final talk.
Okay. So if we could actually, or if you could actually speak directly to the people of Jamaica right now, what message would you share from your hearts?
My wife said I mustn't speak too long. So help is coming. We have not forgotten you. Help is coming.
Dr. Davidson, remember you promised that you're not going to talk a lot anymore. It's about action.
No, that's another thing again. Look here. I think I'm going to have a lot of enemies in the United States, you know. Not in Jamaica, because they're the ones that are suffering. Because when I send out, look here, I'm begging. And I'm making a list of the people who give me the money to go help my people, you know.
He's keeping tabs, y'all.
I'm keeping a tab.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose a lot of friends, because if you don't give me the money to go help my people, I start out already. That's why I put my own money in it first. Proof of concept.
Proof of concept. Talking about proof of concept, I posted the Give Butter link. It's in the chat. We're open to receive donation. So please donate. It's in there. Donate.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Thanks, sir.
Our people need help. And don't tell me that you're helping others and you're not helping me. So if you give your family X amount of dollars, I need at least $10 from you. But give me some money, because I'm making a list.
So please and thank you, right?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, let's keep it going. Time is on us.
I'd certainly let them know that together we are going to get through this, that you're not forgotten, to remain optimistic, to keep your faith, and we will return to help and give our contribution. Remain hopeful, remain prayerful, remain faithful.
Amen.
Thank you.
And Valley, you did say that you want to travel with us when we go back, so you're welcome.
Yes,
with us.
yes, sir. Thank
Right.
you.
Well, for the people of Jamaica who are experiencing the great loss, I would say, continue to keep hope alive. But there are another set of people I want to speak to, and it's the leaders. I really believe, I don't know if there is a lack of skill or a lack of, well, organizational skill, but it's over 3 weeks. And the first thing that came to my mind, if I were a leader, if I were leading, would be safety and protection, psychological, emotional, and physical safety. And the first thing as leaders, I'm not talking about what we as organizers outside are doing to keep the people secure and alive and keep them fed. I'm talking about the responsibility of leaders to a people who put them there to ensure their protection. In my mind, the first thing that I would have done was set up cabin cities. And when I say cabin cities, I'm just thinking of getting wood. You appeal to your help outside. You use some of the money that you have gotten and you build, say, a 10 by 40 cabin, and you divide it in 4. You cut 4 windows, 1 window to each of the 10 by 10. You get a blow up beds in there. You get cots in there. You encourage families of 4 and 6 for each of the areas. But because families are together in a room, they have a sense of physical safety and security. They have emotional and psychological support by just being with each other. You don't even have to have zinc to put on the roof. You can put the kind of tarpaulins that we bought, the heavy duty tarpaulins, and you can nail those down as roofs. And you have a number of these, and for each of these 4 units, you have a latrine. So each 4 unit has a latrine that's just there for them, so that you can keep sanitization. You can make sure conditions will prevent contagious diseases. And this is simple little things that I see lacking in leadership and strategies that should be there. And so that part of my speech is for the leaders.
All right. So that's a
First
direct message. Direct message to the
direct
leaders.
to the
All right.
leaders.
Thank you, Dr. Polly. All right. So 1 minute. Closing argument. Dr. Davis, you first. 1 minute.
For me, basically, I am very active right now with groups to ensure that we raise the money necessary to spend it specifically by ourselves in the communities that are hurting. So that's my spiel is, if you don't have money, you can't do anything, right? So you have to raise the money. And I'm following the Pavlov. I was a teacher. The Pavlov hierarchy of needs. Number 1 is food. Next one is shelter, and the third is clothing. I'm big on food right now. And shelter. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for keeping it to 1 minute. Valerie, 1 minute.
Can you repeat the question for me?
Just a closing argument. Say what you need to say. Your final thoughts.
That irrespective of financial contribution, if you're lacking in that department, there are other ways to give and to provide. Your time, your energy, no matter how small the contribution is, it makes a difference. Do not believe that your actions will not be big enough. We need everyone to be proactive in providing assistance, whether it's financially or clothing contribution, housing contribution, everything is needed.
Okay. For me,
I was waiting. Thought you was going to say, thank you.
Well, I didn't want to give any plugs as yet, but if you want me to, I can.
No, that's fine. We'll do this again. Dr. Reed.
All right, for me, I need to do what I can, but I cannot physically be in Jamaica as I would like to. But I consider the outliers, those who would not normally be found, but their need is great. And I think that's an area that I can contribute to with the connections that I have in different areas. I can connect these needs with organizations that, like Dr. Davidson and Dr. Laxley. And so we won't have anyone being an outlier and not getting any help at all. Because you can be trapped in some areas where the government will never reach you. So that's an area of need. We need to find these people and connect them.
Thank you, Dr. Polly. All right, so let me just say this real quick before I turn it over to Dr. Donna. So as we wrap up tonight's conversation, I want us to remember this, that just weeks ago, Hurricane Melissa devastated parishes and communities across the southern and western parts of Jamaica. Today, right now, at this very moment, families are still fighting to survive the aftermath of what is arguably one of the strongest hurricanes ever to make landfall anywhere. And even now, the rebuilding has only just begun. Only. Tonight, we heard stories about people who lost everything but refused to lose faith. I heard it said by Dr. Polly and Val, and I heard how that inspired Dr. Davidson. They refused to lose faith. We heard about stories of compassion from those who traveled to meet the needs head on. And powerful reminders that real recovery takes more than assistance. It takes unity, consistency, and love in action. So to our guests, Dr. Benzie Davidson, Dr. Reed, Ms. Valerie Marks, thank you for your courage, for your service, and your willingness to stand with Jamaica in a moment of deep crisis. To our viewers, the work is far from finished. If anything that was said on this platform tonight moved you, we want you to share the message and continue to support the ongoing relief efforts. Support any organization you deem to be credible. Support them. As long as you're supporting, that is what is important. And continue to keep Jamaica in your heart, your prayers, and your generosity. Because when we stand together, hope multiplies. When we give together, communities heal. And when we act together, Jamaica will rise again. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to our closer, Dr. Donna.
All right. Great show. Great show this evening. Once again, I just extend, our thank you for our guest, Dr. Davidson, Val, Dr. Reed, for joining us and actually sharing your firsthand experience in Jamaica with Hurricane Melissa. And of course, everything that Dr. Stevenson said, we just continue to support the various different organizations that we know that's actually going to do the work and support our people. Let's just keep in mind that this is not a quick fix. So after, a month, don't think that everything is going to be the norm. This is an island that has been, half of the island has pretty much been devastated, been destroyed, and it's going to take years. It's going to take all of us. Dr. Davidson said that we have approximately 5 million Jamaicans that are living off the island. 5 million, we can rebuild Jamaica. So let's go out there and do our part, do our work, do what we need to do so we can support the people that's there. I wanted to just also say that, Dr. Davidson, you referred to what you experience with the mountains in California. And I just want to put it out there that right now, the mountains are burning in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So let's keep in mind that this is still an evolving and ongoing tragedy that is happening on the island. So now we had the storms, the wind, the water, now we have the fire. So let's keep our people in prayer. Let's keep supporting and let's keep donating. I thank you all, our guests here, for spending, your time with us this Thursday evening, and for all our viewers that is actually here with us. Some of us may have left, but you'll see the replay. Once again, just continue to support us. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. So I'm going to ask you all to go out there, do an act of kindness for someone that you do not know. But one thing I'm going to ask you to do, and I'm going to be specific, go out there and donate to givebutter.com. It's in the chat. Go out there and donate. Find your Jamaican organizations and connections and resources that you can donate to, even if you cannot be on the ground, but your help, anything you can do is still going to be monumental in helping the people. So you all have a wonderful Thursday evening. You all be safe, and thank you for joining us this evening on A Collision with Purpose.
One thing before we go, Donna, and I want to give Dr. Reed and Val an opportunity to take us home with something positive. Something good is happening in Atlanta this weekend, and I want them to say something about it real quick.
I would just like to add one important thing that was not mentioned, and I would like to thank JMCC, J Charities, and Brooks Senior Center, and everyone else who has donated and made it possible for us to take those donations to Jamaica. We appreciate and we thank you all. We will continue to look for you for support and to other organizations, but I had to mention them and thank them all.
Certainly. And this weekend, although we are very respectful of, what the suffering, we still want to keep that camaraderie going because we have a rich tradition. And at Christmas, everybody go to everybody's home to eat Christmas cake. And we are having the fruit cake competition at the new CLTV studio at 414 North Hairston Road in Stone Mountain. It's going to be fun. We'll get an opportunity to buy a brick and leave a legacy that will go down in a physical structure when we build our museum. But eating the fruitcake and seeing who wins the prizes. We have trophies, we have cash prizes, we have weekend for two at a hotel, beautiful hotel. So we want everybody to come out and just join in that spirit of camaraderie. And just remember that we still have a rich tradition or rich traditions that we need to preserve.
All right. Doc, I need 1 minute to talk about our fundraising event this weekend.
All right, please do.
So on Saturday, all day we'll be collecting food items and clothing, which is a California Hurricane Group. But one more thing, the Southern California Cricket Association that have 54 members, we're having our 81st annual awards banquet, and Sir Viv Richards is the guest speaker. Guess what? We are sold out. And some of that money is coming to Jamaica.
Powerful.
Nice.
All right. Any other announcements? All right. That's it. We're out. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
And Donna,
Thank you.
And I have another program now going on.
All right, we're
yes,
done.
our group is meeting at 8 o'clock tonight. I'm in all these groups, but that's another thing again, because they're going to meet and they're talking, and I'm not getting money. And action is not taken.
All right. Action. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Step into the spotlight. Couple lights on, cameras roll. Time to break the mold. No more silence, every story's gotta be told. Truth in the air,